lights, cameras, action. Now let's engage in the dialogue. Let me browse through your mind like a catalog. Conscious metaphysics, allow me to break down the specifics. Educate, motivate. If you don't feel free, you can liberate. An LLC is what I'm building, the #1 podcast in the building. So let me slide on up in the Bentley truck in my Versace shirts. They can't get enough of this deep conversation, expansion, elevation. I'll send you a link you can tap in. It ain't quite what I used to do back then. Now I get it on the front and the back end. Multiple money streams keep coming in. Enlighten, empower, evolve. Enlighten, empower, evolve.
Just in time. Greetings, everyone. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. I am sure, I know everyone is doing well and everything is unfolding perfectly. I am excited again because I have another amazing guest today who is an evidential medium, Reiki practitioner, and registered nurse, and a whole lot more. Without further ado, I introduce to you Kate Gantt. How are you doing today, Kate?
Good. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I appreciate you being here. I am a firm believer that time is one of our most precious assets, and for you to choose to share some of your time in the history of your timeline here on Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved, I just want to extend my sincerest gratitude.
Absolutely.
Yes, so let's just get right into it. There's so much I want to ask you in so little time, but give us a little insight on this evidential medium and Reiki practitioner. How did that come about, and what does that all entail in your perspective, or in a broad perspective, whatever? Just share a little bit of those with us.
Absolutely. So it's interesting because as I had come out, there's a lot of people that don't know what a medium is. So basically, a medium is someone who can connect with loved ones who have passed, because I believe our souls are eternal. And so evidential is about bringing those specific pieces, like those golden nuggets, like your grandfather was a farmer and he was specific to melons or something very specific to the person. So that is beyond a doubt that is that particular person. So it's basically not only proving the continuity of life, but specifically bringing messages through that are supportive for you. And so my unfoldment actually just started a few years ago. So end of 2021, randomly, a friend of ours had just said I was a medium. So I've been a mother and a nurse for over a decade at this point. And our world just kind of unfolded from there. And so I started first of all, I live in the South, in South Carolina. So it is like the Bible Belt, and everyone here is very, people are afraid what they don't know of, basically.
Yes. If I might interject for a second, I really resonate with that. And I like the way that you articulated that, because it's not that you or I are trying to criticize anyone, but yes, oftentimes people in general are afraid of what they don't know, and they tend to vilify it or demonize it when they don't understand and it doesn't follow their narrative. And I totally get it, because most of my family are very religious. I grew up in a religious family, but once I started to look within and find the God within me and just become more aware and conscious, a lot of what I was sharing, they didn't understand, and still to this day don't. And I flow with it, but at the same time, what I was saying, I don't want to stop your thought, is that I understand where you're coming from with that. Go ahead, Kate. I'm sorry for the interruption.
No problem. But that is so true. That is what people are afraid of. So basically everything just kind of unfolded. I didn't know what to do. There's no one around. And so someone had said, find a Facebook group. So I found a Facebook group, and then, okay, we'll find somebody to practice with. So I found someone to practice with. And then all of a sudden, here I am at my first practice, never done it before.
Right.
And it just happened. I just did it. And so what I like to remind people of is there's a lot of potential inside you that maybe you're not aware of. It doesn't mean that it wasn't there forever. It just means that divine timing wasn't at that time until that moment that it unfolded.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's amazing that you say that, because even now, if I might add, even scientifically, for the people out there that are listening and or watching, science is starting to catch up with what people knew a long time ago, because they were connected with their selves, their inner, their spirit, or whatever you want to say, God within them, the universe. And it's just now starting to catch up with that, even like medicine and everything, and how we can really heal ourselves when we really get out of our own way. So yes, that's amazing. And another thing I want to ask you is uh, again, did you elaborate on that evidential medium? That's the same thing. The medium is connecting with those that have passed. Now,
Yeah.
Reiki practitioner, is that along the same lines?
That is along the lines of like spiritual healing. It's kind of like spiritual healing, not exactly, but it's using like the chi, which is like
Oh, okay.
universal force energy, for as a channel to help heal so that your body can heal itself.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing, amazing. And if I could just ask you, what
Yeah.
caused you really to just tap into I mean, you've always been curious about spiritual practices. How did that
No,
come about?
actually it was so I've always been interested in like, supernatural, like, I used to watch Long Island Medium, but
Right.
my life was so busy. I was like a young mom, like, right out of high school. I work, 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 work. And then I was like, let me do better, get a career, be a nurse, work, 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 work. And then my kids got a little bit older. Now I have time to figure out who I am as a person. And so I
Right,
think that's how it kind of unfolded. And
right.
then from learning that I was a medium to all that there is and all the infinite possibilities that are all around us. Um,
Absolutely.
just kind of like that. And so now it's like I feel open, and whatever comes my way, whatever path I take, if it's a detour, I'm not set in stone.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? A
Flow,
lot of people
flow.
are.
I like to call that flow. Yes,
Yes,
yes, yes. And non-attachment.
yes,
Yes. Amazing. And
yep.
also, I read in your bio that you attended a school in the UK. Can you give us uh, detail, feedback on that?
Absolutely. So in my multiple practices, I did online. Um, a few people had mentioned Arthur Findlay College, and it's like the world renowned college, the only college for mediums. And so
Wow. It's
I
actually a
did.
college for mediums.
Yes,
And the name of that college again is what?
Arthur Findlay.
Ar- Arthur?
Arthur,
Arthur
Arthur
Finlay.
Findlay. Mhm.
Finley.
Finlay, yes.
Oh yes, Finley. Oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay, go
yes.
ahead. Wow, this is something
So
I've never heard of.
yes. So my husband actually surprised me for my birthday last January with a trip there to a
Wow.
course called the Natural Medium, which was absolutely life changing. So if you can imagine like a real life Hogwarts for adults now, there it is.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
yes, yes. That's amazing, because
yes,
yes, I love those movies.
yes, yes. But and
Yes.
it feels that way. Like they keep everything almost original from like the 1800s.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so it's absolutely fantastic. The tutors are amazing. And they teach, spiritual healing. They teach trance. They teach trance mediumship, which is like basically spirit speaking through you. They teach all kinds of mediumship and development. Psychic development.
Wow. Things that
Um,
that connect with the spiritual realm, and
yes,
spiritual gifts, and a spiritual
yes,
awakening, I would imagine. And that
yes,
is amazing, because I've never heard of a school like that. Not that I've researched, but just
yep,
it's never come across my
yep.
experience or timeline. So I've never heard of
It's
it.
the only one in the world.
That's amazing. And you went
Yes,
there.
yes. And
Wow.
because I remember thinking, I was so excited about it, even though I'm so excited now. I remember thinking that's my life goal, is to go there one day. And then I went, and then I'm actually going back in 2 weeks on the 20th for another course. So yeah,
Right. You
absolutely
know,
amazing.
and just to share with you, you know what? I've had visions and dreams and thoughts and daydreaming of opening up something similar to that that cultivates consciousness and mindset and wealth beliefs and unlimited beliefs, I'd say. Just so in
Yep,
wealth in all areas, not just pertaining to money, but just wealth, the wealth that you have within yourself. I think that's the most important wealth
that's
and health and just the mental health and just everything kind of tied in there with a spiritual core, not
absolutely,
religious, so to speak, but spiritual. You understand what where I'm saying. But yes,
absolutely.
sort of like that.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah,
amazing that you say that, because I daydream about things sometimes, and I even find myself like going over a dialogue in my head about, maybe I'm talking to a student there, interviewing a student to be registered there. I mean, I do things like that. So yes,
that's
I
awesome.
I think that right there is, I take it like a sign, that there
Absolutely.
is something already like that. Not saying that I'm limited until something comes up, but just to
Right.
let you know, I've dreamt of something like that.
Wow. That's amazing.
Right. Right.
Yep.
So
And
yeah.
also along that line, as far as the potential that's within us, I feel if more people knew the significance of our life, we
Right.
could actually reach the potential that we are here to be. And so just
Yes.
being open, opening up yourself and just knowing, just being open to the possibilities of everything. You know what I mean? Just there's just so much out there. Um, Instead of being stuck in the mundane day to day. And I know monetary, like money, you need money to live and survive and all of that.
Absolutely.
That's important also. And it's also important to experience your life and enjoy your life. But
Right.
also, I personally feel how many people would live their life in a more kind way, a more thoughtful way, if they knew they didn't have to be so possessive of things and
Right.
status and all of that.
Right. Yeah. And if I might add to that, I feel that it's connected with a lot of upbringing and programming,
Exactly.
some from people that didn't know any better, and some that's intentional to
Yep.
keep us distracted or to not allow us to tap into our gifts, or keep us away from that for some reason. And I won't get really dive into that, but yes, there's so many distractions out there. And from my perspective, I grew up always looking, for the next thing and looking for things outside of myself. And so now that I've been made aware and went through things, and I don't want to get into the story now because this is your time, but coming to a point where start looking within and finding information and just, you know, personal development and just self-empowerment. Now I understand. And yes, that is part of the reason, most of the reason why I created this podcast, to just elaborate and uh, and reinforce and highlight different perspectives from extraordinary people such as yourself, about our power and what we, how amazing we are, and just to keep this conversation and type of conversation, this frequency on this level, it never gets old.
Yep.
It's always
Absolutely.
empowering to me. And that's why I consider it also spiritual and mental exercise, if you will.
Yep.
And it's amazing. It's almost like the opposite. You can have a draining conversation about poverty or about what happened bad in the news, who got killed. You can engage in those type of conversations, which I no longer do. And if it does start to happen, I'll remove myself quickly and
Mhm.
shift, but
Yep.
engaging in these type of conversations intentionally, amazing.
Absolutely. I agree. I agree. And also the path, like if professional, there's so many people that have lived their lives and have become a professional, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden they have the aha moment and they
Right.
switch gears and they choose a direction to become more enlightened and go within themselves. That's exactly it's exactly what happens. I think you look inside yourself more instead of looking at everyone else around you to say, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
Once you are open to the possibility and your soul is touched with something, then you are from within coming out, which is a way different perspective, I think.
Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got like you just mentioned, I got to a point in life where I stopped looking, and basically placing blame elsewhere, even though there are outside things that contribute to,
Right.
negativity and whatnot, but you still have the power, I believe, with inside to how you perceive and how you respond and how you look at things. And that in itself has a power to shift the actual things that are happening to you, and
Absolutely.
knowing how to love yourself enough to, remove yourself from certain people. And it's just it's an amazing process, just learning how, to cultivate the power within ourselves. I think it's just amazing. And what we attract, such
Yeah.
as this talk here, it's like
Yeah.
on a normal day, I wouldn't have never came across you and wouldn't have probably ever seen you in life, but here we are. And
I know.
it's
I know.
amazing. And I'm
I
so
remember coming across one of your posts you somehow you just came on my feed and I liked it, and then I saw a few more things and I liked it, and I don't know how I came across how you found me, but maybe it was like kind of that same thing.
it was the same thing I did. I remember seeing some of your posting, and then I looked into your page to saw, and just keywords stood out to me, the
Yeah.
Reiki and just
Yep.
anything to do with spirituality and personal development and self-empowerment. And just, yes, that all speaks to me, and I want to learn more. And
Absolutely.
that's when I reach out and say, hey, would you be interested? And I believe in alignment, and I believe so much. Well, I can say I know, and I'm tapped into alignment, and I know the universe always connects the right energy and the right thing. So, and you know what? And thus far, hasn't went wrong, hasn't failed
Yep.
yet. I
Yep.
always say that the universe is a perfect orchestrator. And
Yep.
everyone, I would say 99.9% of the people that I've had on this platform, it's just been a very enlightening and pleasant and just easy flowing and just amazing conversation, amazing connection.
Yep.
It's
I think
amazing.
if the energy is just high, lifting, just
Yes,
it's exciting to be around other people who have the same excitement for life and all the possibilities.
yes. And I call that similar frequencies. And like I said, and I'll say this, I said this to someone the other day. I said, and I'll be careful how I say this, but I said all people that look like me, okay, they might be my people or whatever, but they're not my tribe. Now, my tribe, we're on the same frequency or along the same lines. So,
Right.
and we understand. And that even interprets to the people in my own family, where they're my family, but we're not we're not the same tribe,
Right.
because
Right.
we're, yes, they're thinking this way, I'm I'm not saying I'm better. I'm just saying I'm more open, like you mentioned earlier, open. And some people are not open. They're closed, you
Right.
know, in regard to especially learning things that they're unfamiliar with, or, you
Yes.
know, I've always been the type of person that if I don't understand something, I want to look into it and at least find out for myself first before I cut it off
Right.
and close the door on it, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yes. So that's amazing. And also, so you mentioned also that you opened an office or some type of spiritual office in South Carolina. Can you
Yes.
tell us a bit about that?
Yes. So, we both work. I still work as a nurse, and I
Right.
couldn't afford an office, but mediumship is my heart and soul. That's really and healing. And so I wanted an office. And so randomly, this idea came into my head to email someone who had an office that I knew of. She emailed back with the landlord's name and phone number and said, yes, a space just opened. That was in our
Of course
price
it did.
range. Yes.
You
And so
attracted
that's
that.
where I'm at now. Yeah, this is my office.
Yes.
And so I have an office for mediumship and for Reiki, and I can also do mediumship online via Zoom. I can do distance Reiki, which doesn't require any interaction. It's just kind of hard to get people to come to the office in this area because
Right.
everyone's and you can't really advertise. Kind of, spiritual things are a little different. You don't want to put your name on a billboard or you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah.
Absolutely. And I understand exactly what you're saying. So while we're on that subject, how can people find you? Can you tell us audibly? Now, I received a message with your website, and I'm going to
Yeah.
be sure to incorporate that into the description of when I upload this segment. But while we're here, for those that are just listening on the audio platforms, can you tell us your email address and or the best ways to contact you?
Absolutely. So I do have a website, and it is soul-chakra.com. That's SOUL-CHAKRA.com. Email is kate@soul-chakra.com. I also have an Instagram, Medium Kate Gantt, and a Facebook, Medium Kate Gantt. And my phone number is on my website. So if you have any questions, even if you're just wondering where to start, even if you wanted to open up yourself, if you wanted some, useful tips or want to have a conversation, I'd be more than happy to do that.
Wow. Thank you very much, Kate, for sharing that. And yes, I look forward to you, your passion and to continue to flourish and for, because it feels good when we're tapped into our passion and, we in other people, we can share that gift with other people. So that's how I'm trying to put it, that I want it to grow. I want your service to flourish. And I know it is.
Yeah.
And I won't say it will. I know it is. It's happening in real time now. So that's amazing. And I'm glad I can be even just a part of, if just a part of that, you know, next level. So yes,
Absolutely. Thank you.
anybody out there, check out Kate's website and yes, connect with her and find out a little bit more. I know myself that's amazing. I'm still baffled by the school you talked about, and wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. But
Yep.
yes, you continue, with your journey, and that another thing that's amazing too is that, like you mentioned earlier, just being in the midst of, like you said, the Bible Belt, but still feeling that intuition and connecting with your knowing, it's just amazing because
It's
it's
all good. It's from
right,
goodness. We
right,
all have a God within us, whatever version
right,
of that is. Yeah. It's all about just tapping into that. Yep.
right. Yes. So before we conclude this segment, are there any other things that you'd like to share? Anything coming up, or just a message for people, or just anything that you'd like to say?
I feel it's just important to do what sings to your soul. Find what sings to your soul and run with it. Just go. Don't have a plan. Just take a detour. If it takes you all over, and then you end up in the same spot, but you have a different perspective and you're able to see it in a clearer way, and it works for you. Awesome. And don't compare yourself. You're the only version of yourself that'll ever be here. So,
Wow.
yep.
Amazing. Kate Gantt, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, appreciate you very much coming on today, speaking with me here on Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. Appreciate everyone who's listening and or watching. Thank you very much. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, share this, leave questions, comments. Check out my website as well, the Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved website. Check it out at 333empower.com. And if you also think that you'd be a good fit for this podcast, be a good guest on this podcast, send an email to 333empower@gmail.com. Thank you very much, everyone. Sending love and appreciation, good energy to everyone. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thank you. See you soon.
Thank you.